ESPN is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Tuesday. Hope that work week's off to a good start. Appreciate it out with us on 104.5 ESPN. Baton Rouge, Glen West in 30 minutes. LSU and Arkansas play tonight. We might talk about that. We'll definitely talk some baseball with Glen West of Go 24/7 coming up at 1:30. Sharif Ishak at the bottom of hour number 2. We got some baseball to get to. Where do the Saints rank in the power rankings moving into the offseason, according to ESPN, Fox, and Sporting News? Some consensus there. We'll talk about it coming up here in 15 minutes. So plenty to do here on this Tuesday. Let's crank it up the way we do every day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
You know, it's not technically football time right now. There's no significant recruiting period open. The portal has been closed. There have not been any additions. Spring practice is not upon us yet. But I'm still putting out football content on LouisianaSports.net, going through our portal profiles and going through every single player that LSU added and writing one profile up every single day with just some nuts and bolts and a projection on where that player potentially could impact LSU in 2026. And something today, as I was writing my piece on Stacey Gage, kind of dawned on me. And I wanted to kind of expound upon it and thought it was a good thing to kind of crank things up today with. I remember going out to LSU football practices in the infancy of my writing career. So you're talking 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, those years. And there would just be so many running backs. There would be so many running backs on scholarship. You'd have your, senior and junior, the guy that's the starter, but then you'd always have, a couple of 4-star freshmen, maybe a young 5-star, and those guys weren't going to transfer at that point in time. So you kind of see how it was going to extrapolate out over the time to come. And it was just always a position that LSU stockpiled with elite level talent. And most of it was from the state of Louisiana. You look back over the course of that Les Miles era of football, and the best backs largely came from the state of Louisiana. Like Spencer Ware was from Ohio, but most of the other guys, your Jeremy Hill, Kenny Hilliard, Leonard Fournette, Darius Geis, Michael Ford, Darrell Williams, like going on, like all those guys are from Louisiana. Keelan Williams was from Louisiana. Charles Scott was from Louisiana. Jacob Hester was from Louisiana. Like, you get the point. It was a very Louisiana-heavy position, very talent-rich position. And LSU always had depth. And it's dawned on me that over the last couple of years, some of this is out of LSU's control, but there's been almost no depth at the running back position. Now, it's not LSU's fault as a football program that Trey Holly got caught up in an investigation that dragged on for multiple years in Union Parish, and he ended up at Southern. It's not really LSU's fault that last year JT Lindsey, right as camp is beginning, turns himself in on accessory to a murder after the fact. Now he's in the transfer portal. He moves on. But like some of that stuff is just not really LSU's fault. But you didn't have a lot of depth, and that's why you had to keep moving Juwan Johnson around at running back, and then he's at safety, and then he's at running back, and then he's at quarterback, and then he's at running back, and just the depth wasn't there. And now, kind of shockingly to me, you've got a lot of depth at running back. One, it was vital to keep Harlem Berry around. I believe Harlem Berry is a huge talent that's got a bright future at LSU. You didn't see a lot of it this year because LSU was atrocious at running the ball. We've discussed this ad nauseum. But they were awful. But I saw some things I really liked in the Ole Miss game, for instance, in the Texas A&M game. You saw the burst, you saw a little bit of speed, ability to make guys miss, running between the tackles, and that's as small and underdeveloped as he's going to be as a college player. It was huge to get him back. And you assumed that Caden Durham would be gone. Like, that was my assumption. Maybe I shouldn't say you assumed. You may not have assumed. I assumed that Caden Durham would be gone. Caden Durham decided to come back. And that gives you, in my estimation, a very, very quality 1-2. Is it Fournette and Geis? Probably not. Is it the 2011 running back room that just ran for $1 billion on everybody? Well, probably not in terms of style and proven depth and talent. But it's a good base for a running back room. And at that point, you had to go out and supplement. And obviously, I think the prize gem here is Kejuan Lacey. And he didn't go in the portal. We'll never know what happens if Ole Miss loses to Georgia. But they didn't. They won the game. He didn't go in the portal. So then LSU had to go out and go, okay, all you folks in the portal, we've got two guys who essentially were LSU starters last year. Anybody want to come, be like third, fourth, fifth string? And they opened the doors, and you got some guys in. And you've got some talent that has come in. Like Dylan Jones from Wisconsin was a starter for them. You turn on the tape, like it looks pretty good for a third string back. I'm not asking him to come in and run for 1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns. You're looking for the third back. Well, the Wisconsin starter, that's a pretty good place to go for a third team back. Oh, by the way, he's a redshirt sophomore this year. He has 3 years of eligibility remaining. But you didn't stop there. You went and got Racine Guillory, who was once a 4-star recruit, one of the best backs in Texas. Reclassified, ends up at Utah. He comes in. He's a redshirt freshman. He's got 4 years left. You went and got Rod Gainey from Charlotte. Not physically or on the tape going to blow you away. I'm talking about a fifth string back here. And oh, by the way, he's got 3 years of eligibility remaining. He's a redshirt sophomore. And then Stacey Gage, who I mentioned, comes in from UCF. He was pretty productive for the Knights this past year. And is a redshirt sophomore with 3 years of eligibility remaining. You've got 4 guys you brought in the portal. All 4 are either redshirt sophomores or redshirt freshmen. They have at least 3 years of eligibility remaining, and in Guillory's case, it's 4. And then Barry's got 3 years left, and Durham's got 2 years left. Now, I am not naive enough to sit here and suggest that LSU is going to keep all 6 of these guys through their senior years. Of course not. They won't keep all 6 of these guys on the 2027 team. I know that. You know that. I'm not trying to speculate anything on the other hand. But I do like the fact that you got a lot of guys, a lot of eligibility left on the roster. You've got now 6 backs that have played in a D1 game on your roster. That is healthy. That is not, okay, well, Durham's banged up, but he can play some, and Barry's a true freshman, so let's get him out there. And is Juwan Johnson still around? Okay, that's fine. Like, this is legitimate here. And this is my working assumption. I will work off of this until I'm proven wrong, okay? I believe Lane Kiffin, just by showing up in Baton Rouge, his mere presence and installation of his offense is going to mean that LSU can run the football. That's just, I'm going to work off of that assumption until I'm proven wrong. Now, I had an assumption when Brian Kelly came in that LSU would be really, really, really good on the offensive line because he was at Notre Dame. And it looked like, oh, you brought in Will Campbell and Emory Jones in that first class, and you identified, bringing in Miles Frazier, who played well, and Garrett Dellinger developed, and yeah, he's got this going, and this next group of guys will be really, really good. And it turned out that you couldn't run the ball at all. So that assumption turned out to be wrong. So I'm leaving the door open for that. But I look at Lane Kiffin's rushing offense. And this past year, Ole Miss was 6th in the SEC. The year before that, 5th in the SEC. The year before that, 5th in the SEC. The year before that, they led the SEC. The year before that, they were 2nd in the SEC. In his first year at Ole Miss as the head coach, taking over a bad program, he led the SEC in rushing. Again, that's 1st, 2nd, 1st, 5th, 5th, 6th. And the team that was 6th went to the playoffs and went to the national semifinal. So my assumption is going to be based on the tempo, the scheme, the play calling, all of that. LSU will be able to run the ball. And I look at the backs and I go, you finally have the proper numbers at the position. It's not a star-studded group. They're not a bunch of first-team All-Americans on this list. But I've watched Caden Durham become a freshman All-SEC player. I've watched Harlan Berry make explosive plays and be the number one back in the country. And I'm not asking these guys that they've brought in who are young in their college careers to be game-changing starting pieces. I'm asking them to be depth pieces. The one thing that I would look at with this list, and I would go, and just kind of nod my head a little bit, is you don't have a single back on this list that's over 210 pounds. There's not a physical presence. I would prefer one of these guys fit that bill. Now, Caden Durham is not small. He's short. He's not small. And Dylan Jones is short. He's not small. And he runs physically. And Caden Durham breaks tackles. And so I'm not here to suggest that LSU's got a bunch of guys that run around that are 5'8", $170, that are track stars, and they're just trying to run it that way. But they don't have a tailback that's 6'2", 234, that just can lower his shoulders and make somebody's day miserable. They don't have a guy that looks like Spencer Ware, that looks like Caleb Jackson, though he didn't necessarily run that way, but looks like Caleb Jackson, that looks like Charles Scott, that looks like a big, physical, hulking back. Kejuan Lacey is a big physical back. I actually didn't look up when I was doing my prep for this what he's listed at, but I can find that pretty quickly. Kejuan Lacey at Ole Miss is listed at 5'11", 210, so right on the threshold I was saying. Like, they don't have a back that's north of that. But I do think that Jones and Durham run pretty physically, and I'll be curious to see what Harlan Berry looks like after a full offseason in this program. But it's a lot of guys that kind of profile similarly. A little bit leaner, good speed, out in space, can probably catch the ball. And maybe that fits Kiffin's offense better. And he knows. He knows what he's looking for. He's got a lot of guys that look that part. So I'm excited about LSU's running back room. I'm excited about the fact that when LSU lines up against Clemson on Labor Day weekend, I'll tell you this right now in February. When they line up in Tiger Stadium against Clemson, I am going to work under the assumption that day LSU's going to run it on these guys. I haven't thought that in 3 years, 4 years. I will think that on Labor Day weekend, and that's an exciting thing. And I didn't quite realize just how much depth they had built up in that running back space because the portal goes so fast and furious. But when I looked up who I had to write today for the player profile, it was Stacey Gage. I was like, man, that's like 5 running backs I've done. Turns out 6 total in the transfer portal that LSU pulled in and now has retained. So good stuff on the running back room for Lane Kiffin and his staff. All right, we're off and running here on this Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll talk to our guy Glenn West about baseball when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Ochsner, it's Heart Month. It is Heart Month in February. It's a great time to focus on your overall health and your wellness. You know, heart disease is the number one cause of death for men and women, but it's often preventable. If you avoid smoking, limit alcohol, stay active, exercise regularly, put more fruits, vegetables, grains in your diet, manage your stress, try to get enough sleep. All these can be huge when it concerns your heart health. Regular checkups matter too. Early detection and guidance can keep you on track for a healthy heart. So make your health a priority this Heart Month in February and schedule your primary care appointment at ochsner.org/BRprimary. These small steps today can lead to a stronger heart tomorrow. Check in with your doctors and make sure you're on track for a healthy 2026. Locations throughout Louisiana. You can also find them online at ochsner.org.
Make Raising Cane's the first stop for your second line. Get extra saucy with a Cane's doubloon for just $1 that scores you extra cane sauce through April 3rd with any purchase. Let the good times roll this Mardi Gras with Raising Cane's. One love.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Okay, and what is our goal?
Less than 110.
That's right, less than 110.
We teach. We laugh. We pray.
Dear Heavenly Father, please guide our hands during this procedure.
Hey, how we feeling today?
I'm feeling better.
We heal.
You look better.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
We do all things.
I got you. No way.
With great love. FMOL Health. This is how we healthcare.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Weather's warming up a little bit over the next couple of weeks. Awesome news for baseball out at the box. Also means the grass is going to start growing pretty quick here. So if you're looking to get that new mower, look no further than Gotros Outdoor Power. New partner here at the Hunt Palmer Show. Had a chance to sit down with the Gotro fam back last week. They've got an incredible location down in Gonzales. Got another awesome one in Baton Rouge as well. They've got the largest Hustler inventory in the state by far. So if you're looking for a zero turn, you want to get behind the wheel of that brand new mower as grass season, summer, spring is upon us, go check them out at Gotros Outdoor Power. They've been in business 22 years in Baton Rouge and Gonzales. You can find them online at GotrosOnline.com. The customer service is second to none there at Gotros. You can buy one of those mowers from the big box store, but what happens when you walk out the door? Do you get that personal touch? Do you get that delivery? Do you get that firsthand service where they'll go pick your mower up, bring it in, handle the parts? You probably don't, but you will at Gotros. Check them out at both their locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales. Family owned and operated. You can also find them online at GotrosOnline.com. All right, let's talk a little Saints here before we get to Glenn West. I inaccurately teased that Glenn was coming up in this segment. He's 1:30 every single week, and I just made a mistake. But that's okay because we're talking some Saints. And I was interested to go up and look at the power rankings. And John Seigler put a piece up at SaintsWire.com on this, where the national outlets had the Saints entering the offseason. This is not an indication of where the Saints are for next season, because everyone's aware there's a lot to go into before next season. You got a full free agency cycle. You've got a full NFL draft. You got a lot of roster composition that's got to be put together. There are new coaches that are still filling out staffs. Like, we're just not quite done here yet. This is kind of entering the offseason where these national outlets have the New Orleans Saints, and most of this has to do with what we saw on the field this past year. ESPN ranks the Saints number 26 in the league. Fox ranks the Saints number 26 in the league. And Sporting News ranks the Saints number 25 in the league. Every single outlet ranks the Saints bottom of the NFC South. Now keep in mind, the Saints finished at the bottom of the NFC South. So before we want to go nuts, like, that is technically what their record said. But everyone arrives at a different record a different way. The Bucs got to their record one way, which is having the absolute bottom fall out in November. And the Saints got to theirs by being perhaps the worst team in the NFL for 8 weeks and finished far from it. Now, you didn't finish the way you would like to on the field against Atlanta, but you did win games down the stretch. You did find a quarterback. You did have a quarterback that you found playing in really adverse circumstances in terms of the personnel he had as available and playing well in spite of that. You had a first-year defensive coordinator take his team from really poor early in the season to a very, very good NFL defense that by the end of the season was a top 10 NFL defense. If you just look at the stretch of games at the end of the year. So I think it's completely fair to label the Saints in the mid-20s based on this past season. But I also think that if you were to talk to these folks that put this together and say, okay, project that out to next year, project that out for 2 years, I think the Saints would be on the good side of that for everyone. It's interesting to sit back now that there's enough space between the last Saints game and now, and there's enough space between now and the next time the Saints play. And just take a deep breath and go, okay, where actually is this thing? Because you can get caught up in the slog of that first 10 games. Just loss after loss after loss after loss. Like, that wears on you. And you can get caught in that euphoria of the last month. But the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I think that Kellen Moore, Brandon Staley, and Tyler Shuck's performance in the last 6 weeks of the season is enough positive juice to make you feel like this ship's pointed in the right direction. I think the rest of that roster and what you did the first 10 weeks of the season, at this point, you can look at that and go, okay, that's still an indication we got a long way to go. You're not going to start by beating the Seahawks and beating Buffalo and beating the Rams, and you're not going to start by beating the best teams in the league. But you can start by beating the worst teams in the league, which the Saints did. And then you can work your way towards where you're trying to get, which is towards the top of the NFC at this point. And while that was a really fun last month, I think when you look at ESPN putting the Saints at 26, Fox putting the Saints at 26, Sporting News putting the Saints at 25, and them all ranking the Saints at the bottom of the division, I think it's still okay to look at this and go, we still got a pretty good ways to go here. I would suggest you took 3 or 4 steps in the right direction this year. Head coach did a good job. Defensive coordinator did a good job. Quarterback did a good job. Rookies did a good job. Okay, like, all that's the most important stuff. I would rather all of that go really well than DeMario Davis make first team All-Pro. I'd rather all of that go great than, Cam Jordan making the Pro Bowl. Like, you want the youth to step forward, and they did. But at the same time in the offseason, we can still look at this and go, you're still not that close to the top of the league. You've got a lot to do to get close. And so, not to suggest this is like a total bucket of cold water, but maybe just a sobering splash of water in the face. Like, good last month, steps forward, yes, Close to the top? No. No. But realistically, to put a bow on this, and this is what I said when the season ended, this was about as good as the first season could go. About as good as the first season could go. You could have kept some more guys healthy. I could have seen more from Devon Vele. I could have seen more from your young backs. Devin Neal got hurt at the end of the season. I could have seen more from the interior of our offensive line. But all in all, it was really good. And you're still not good enough. So I think as time moves forward in the offseason, at some point there will be a bit of a shift in my view. Maybe you as a Saints fan, maybe not, but in my view, a shift from, okay, that was really, really positive. Now what? Like, now what are you going to do? Like, what steps can you take forward from there? Because you realize that you're climbing a mountain here, and the Saints were damn near the bottom of that mountain. You're only at the first base camp here. You got a long way to, you can't even see the top of the mountain from where the Saints are. And that's indicated in these rankings. So I think, again, this is not an August conversation, it's a February conversation. Right now, how do the Saints get from 25 and 26? How do you get to 12? You're not going from 26 to 2. How do you go from 26 to 12? And if you go from 26 to 12 this year, because Shuck plays really well, because you've extended Olave and he's a number one, because your first-round pick that you took in the top 10 this year looks like a star, because Quincy Riley and Jonas Sanker and Kelvin Banks and Taliesin Fuaga are linchpins in what you're doing, because Danny Stutzman made 112 tackles. Like, that is the direction I want to go. And oh, by the way, while all those things happen, did you beat the team that ended up winning the NFC? Did you beat 3 different division winners? Did you beat 2 different division winners? Did you avoid the absolute whitewashing that Seattle gave you early in the 2025 season? Like, are these the steps you've taken to go from 26 to 12? That's where I am right now with the Saints. And because I think if you going from 26 to 12 is really doable. It's really, really doable. Going from 12 to 1 or 2 is really, really hard. The easy part is getting out of the muck and into the mix. Going from in the mix to the cream of the crop is a hard climb. But this part is doable with good decisions, good contracts, and development. And I would stand to reason, like, I think there's a good chance the Saints can go from 26 to 12 this year. That's right on the periphery of the playoffs and in the mix, beating the worst teams in the league, playing with the middle-class teams, and perhaps upsetting some of the better teams in the league. 12 gets you, that's what, 9 and 8, 9 and 8, 10 and 7. You do that, I think you'll be thinking in the next offseason, okay, how do we go from 12 to 2? How do we go from 12 to 1? And I think that's a reasonable path to take. It was really fun at the end of the Saints season last year to see them ascend out of disaster. But that ranking you should look at that and go, oh yeah, we still have like a lot of things to got to fix. We'll see how they start fixing them now that the offseason is upon everybody. Jordan, 26 to 12, how do we feel about it?
I feel great about it. I think it's very accomplishable. I think you don't want to fall in the trap that the Commanders fell in last offseason. You want to be more like people look at it differently, but I want to be more like the Detroit Lions. It's kind of crazy to say that, but I feel like they were a good model. I don't think you can do what Seattle did and just hit every pick and everybody's all-pro and all that. But I feel like you can do the Detroit Lions approach. You are building through the draft, but also you're starting to change the culture. We're starting to get that nasty Derek Carr, Dennis Allen stink off us. We finally took a nice shower. We got up out of the slums, got to a nice hotel, cleaned ourselves up. We kind of relapsed again at the end of the season, but we're clean right now, and you just got to keep going forward. But just don't fall into that trap of the Commanders. Go pay money to all these old guys. Think you can try and make it. No. Be patient. Stay the course. I think that you got to hit this first round pick. Got to hit this one. But
he needs to be a potential star. I don't even care what position he plays. Just make that happen.
Yes.
We'll see. Glenn West talking Tigers next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. Looking for a commercial loan? First American Bank and Trust. Looking for a residential loan, personal loan? First American Bank and Trust. Because when you're looking, who do you want making that decision about your loan? Do you want somebody who looks at you as a line item from Seattle and going, okay, huh? Or do you want somebody that's in your community, whose kids go to school with your kids, whose kids play soccer with your kids, who you see at church on Sundays? That's who you find at First American Bank and Trust. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana, and every decision is made locally. The management teams at First American Bank and Trust branches average 25 years with the bank. It's a positive culture. It's a neighborhood feel. It's a community feel. But because they've got those 25 locations, they're able to help you with that commercial loan. They're able to help you with that personal loan. Trust the folks at First American Bank and Trust. They're part of your community, no matter where you are in Southeast Louisiana, all the way Tangipahoa and St. Tammany down to St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne. They are here for you. It's First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
The Tigers don't cut corners on the floor. Parish Construction and Roofing won't cut corners on your home either.
Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
ParishBuilt.com. Make Raising Cane's the first stop for your second line. Get extra saucy with a Cane's doubloon for just $1 that scores you extra cane sauce through April 3rd with any purchase. Let the good times roll this Mardi Gras with Raising Cane's. One love.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here, helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
LSU in Arkansas tonight at 8 o'clock from the Assembly Center. LSU in Milwaukee, 2 o'clock on Friday from the box. That's what's coming up this week. It's a 4-game week. I guess, how would you say that? It's a 3-game weekend, I guess, and they play on Monday. I don't know if you can. I'm not going to try to shoehorn Monday into a weekend. I don't think that's gonna. People are gonna play too well to that. So I guess 3-game weekend and then a 2-game midweek next week for LSU baseball. Glenn West will be there for all of it. He's senior writer for Go 24/7 covering the Tigers. Join us on Tuesdays. Glenn, how are you?
Doing well, Hunt. How about yourself?
Doing just fine. We'll get to baseball here. Let's couple on the basketball squad. LSU gets a lead against Georgia back on Saturday, and then it just slowly slips away, and Georgia's really controlled the second half of that game. What's your sense on energy level, enthusiasm, vibes around the basketball team at this point?
Yeah, I mean, without being in the locker room, it's really hard to tell because they're just saying a lot of the same stuff publicly. Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of the same messaging from both players and the coaches. And, if that's truly how they're feeling and, they just moving on to the next game and putting this last one behind them and, learning from the last game's mistakes. I mean, it's just a lot of the same kind of rhetoric that we're hearing right now. And, unfortunately, it's a lot of the same stuff that keeps happening in these games, too. I mean, LSU is never going to be a sharpshooting team from three. They've got to figure out a way to close that gap in the three-point line and the discrepancy there. That game this last weekend, they got doubled up on three-point makes. They gave up 12 offensive rebounds in the second half. They weren't very aggressive on the boards there in the final 20 minutes. They tried to claw their way back into that game, and Georgia made them pay for every single mistake that they made in the second half. They committed, I think, 8 or 9 turnovers in the second half, and Georgia was either hitting threes or getting transition buckets on the other end. So it's just a lot of the same stuff here with this team when, they get down or when they give up a lead or when they give up a big run. It's just a lot of the same stuff that keeps biting them.
How do they stop Darius Acuff tonight?
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, I guess. I think I went back and I started looking at the game from this last time they played Arkansas a few weeks ago, and it's just it was a very sloppy game. I think for Arkansas, it just was not a very clean game for those guys, but especially from outside of Acuff, they had nobody really contributing. I mean, Acuff was like their big scorer, but LSU is probably going to be down De'Don Thomas this game. If I had to guess, they had him in that game a few weeks ago. They had 5 different players scoring double figures in that game a few weeks ago, and they were able to kind of take some of the aggression and some of the energy to Arkansas a few weeks ago. So if they can kind of match that and play a little bit more high energy for 40 minutes. Maybe they have a chance, but I'm not betting on it. And they also gave up a 50-point half in the second half against Arkansas a few weeks ago. That's been a common theme for this team as well, whether it's the first or the second half. They've been giving up too many points in either the first 20 or the second 20 minutes, and they just don't have a good enough offense to keep up with that.
Yep, that's generally speaking the way it's been going for the LSU basketball team. They'll play tonight at 8 o'clock in the Assembly Center. Let's talk some baseball. They'll crank things up in earnest on Friday. It'll be a 4-day week, 5 games in 6 days for LSU until they head to Jacksonville. Starting pitching is the question everybody's asking. What's your general thought right now as to how Jay Johnson and Nate Yeskie will handle that in the first, call it the first 4 games, Friday through Monday?
Yeah, I think we talked about this maybe a little bit last week. I think Kason Evans, Cooper Moore, Zach Callen, Cooper Williams, maybe William Schmidt. Schmidt had a really awesome kind of dress rehearsal scrimmage this last weekend and looked really, really solid for most of that outing, and maybe he can find a way to slip into one of those 4 starts. But I think the Evans, Moore, Callen, Williams grouping is about what I'm thinking right now. Sorry, my dog's going off right now. Sorry.
It's all good. I do plenty of interviews with screaming 9-month-old in the background. It's just part of life.
Yep. All right, we're good. How are you going?
We're good. So, yeah, I mean, those 4, I think, make sense. Where do you think Schmidt fits in if he's not one of your first 4?
Well, they've been pitching him kind of more towards the back end of the weekends in these scrimmages. So I would say maybe, Sunday, Monday would be maybe where you could potentially see him start. But if he doesn't start, then, maybe a long relief outing would be good for him the first couple days just to kind of get get his feet wet there. I think Maverick Rizzi is another candidate to do that. He's somebody that they've extended 2, 3, 4 innings over the preseason scrimmages as well. So I think those are maybe the two that you could go to for long relief. And there's a couple of really good options to close too. I mean, I think Devin Sheeran is a guy that has really they've really leaned into here the last couple weeks. They've given him a couple outings a weekend here over the last 2 weekends, and so he's somebody that can come in and get you maybe 3, 4, 5 outs. And then there's lots of talent on this roster, and I think these first. It's not only just 5 games in 6 days. I think it's 8 games in 10 days or something like that. So you're really going to get to test the depth of this pitching staff here, and I'm excited to see how many guys they throw and just how those guys respond to those opportunities.
Who do you think leads LSU in home runs this season?
Ooh, good question. I'm just trying to think here. I'm going to go with Jake Brown. I think Jake Brown's got some real pop to his bat. I think he's somebody that is going to be an everyday player for you. He's going to get a ton of opportunities at the plate. I think he's got some real unused power, untapped potential there in the power department that we haven't seen yet in his first couple of years. So I think Jake Brown is maybe a guy that just with the opportunities he's going to get at the plate, I could see him being somebody that gets to maybe 14, 15, 16, kind of in that range. I don't know that there's a 20 home run hitter on this team, but I think you have a lot of guys that can get up close to that 8 to 12 range, and then maybe a guy like Brown gets upwards of 15, 16.
Yeah, Jake Brown was 100 at bats short of Jared Jones last year. That's how much Josh Pearson kind of ate into that playing time. We know that the platoon is why, but there's your potential in Jake Brown. He's got 100 more at bats to get to if they can play a long time into June. How do you feel about the infield defense?
Pretty good. I've been out there the last couple weekends, and I haven't seen many glaring mistakes. There hasn't been a whole ton of opportunity there to make mistakes either. I think that they've done a really nice job of just making the routine plays. I will say it's been really tough for these base runners to steal on Kader Beatty. I mean, I think he's thrown out maybe 3 or 4 guys in the last several scrimmages that I've seen on pickoff attempts, and I think that's a really good sign too if you're LSU to have a catcher like that who can get the ball out quick to second base and keep runners on the bag. So, but I think the infield defense has been really solid. There was I can't remember who it was. I think it was Jack Ruckert made a really nice diving play in the Sunday scrimmage, and that's just kind of points to your depth there. He was playing second base, and he made a really nice diving stab at a hard ground ball that was probably destined for the outfield, and made a nice throw over first base and made the play. So I think there's a lot of really highly talented defensive players on this team. It's just about really kind of carving out which guys are going to end up playing over there at second, because I think we have a pretty good idea of who's going to play the rest of the infield positions.
Do you have a significant concern or a biggest question mark on this team? We've kind of hit everything with starting pitching, relief pitching, defense, power. What do you think?
Yeah, I think probably for me it's going to be just the who can step up that maybe hasn't had an opportunity to step up yet. Like I think that there's a handful of really interesting sophomore players that are going to have to be obviously a huge part of this thing, but I think that there's a really interesting mix of freshmen too. Guys like Mason Braun or Omar Cerna. There's always seems to be a guy on these LSU teams that maybe we're not talking about enough in the preseason, who finds a way into the lineup or finds a way into the pitching rotation and really becomes a staple part of the offense or the pitching staff by the end of the season. And so I think that there are some players like that on this team. I think that's something that you'll certainly want to watch out for. But in terms of like direct concerns, I don't know that I have a whole ton right now. I mean, I would like to see them play a few weeks before kind of evaluating that, but I think they have the perfect blend of returning players from that championship team and then really interesting transfers and young players to kind of help round out the roster in a really, really, really interesting way.
So what's your gut tell you about this team? I mean, I'm not going to ask you to tell me they're going to win the national championship, but I mean, do you feel like this is a team that's got in it what to 1 2 years didn't, to get off to a reasonable start and then to go make a push and at least get back to Omaha?
Yeah, I really do. I think that they have a lot of options, a lot of really talented players, a lot of guys who have been there and done that. And like I mentioned, it's just going to be about how much do these first to second year players really carry this team. Like I think Kate Aaron Beatty is going to be one of the biggest X factors on this entire team, and I think William Schmidt has the potential to be that on the pitching side. Like, and those are two sophomores that played some for you last year, but are going to need to take pretty significant leaps. If they do that, I think that there's a lot of really good talent and a lot of veteran talent with experience of guys that have played at this level before and done it. Certainly on the championship team from last year, but also from the guys that they got in the transfer portal. Like, what does Caraway do with this opportunity in a full off season now with Jay Johnson and these hitting staff and just what his potential could look like over at third base. There's just a lot of really interesting players, I think, on this roster that are going to have an opportunity to really help carry this team to the ceiling. And I think that ceiling is probably going to be, hosting again in Baton Rouge and playing for a chance to go to Omaha.
We shall see. See you out of the box this weekend, Glenn.
All right. Thanks, Hon.
Glenn West, senior writer for Go 24/7, team coverage, recruiting coverage. They got you covered over there at Go 24/7. Remind you, One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Look, it doesn't have to be a full-scale remodel renovation. They can do that for you. They can handle it soup to nuts, as David always says. Handle putting the tile in your floor back in, put in a new bathtub, put in a new shower. They can do lots of different things, and it can be an expansive renovation. They can also do something simple like a tub-to-shower conversion. Take your tub out that you never use, big, huge jacuzzi-style tub that you don't use. Take it out and use that space, which is a lot, for a big walk-in shower. Right now, if you don't love the shower that you're in, you got a dingy old shower curtain and a bathtub you don't ever use, put in a gorgeous new shower. Changes the look and the aesthetic of your bathroom, changes the functionality of your bathroom, also adds value to your home. Call David. Get that free consultation online at OneBathAndClosets.com. OneBathAndClosets.com is that website. They got financing options available. They got financing 0% up to 18 months over at OneBathAndClosets.com. Just a thought on opening day lineups. We just kind of tossed that out there with Glenn, and I started making some notes. I'll just kind of go. This is something I was going to hold for like Thursday. Kind of dive into it here to close out hour number 1 when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville, now under new ownership, Fabry family ownership. You know the Fabry family, 35 years in business here in Baton Rouge, 3 locations, 5 brands, online at FabryChevrolet.com. Look, if you're looking for a truck, there's no better time than to get in the market right now, February. Over at Fabry Chevrolet GMC, the Chevy Silverados, up to $11,000 off MSRP, 1.9% financing. Up to $11,000 off. GMC Sierras on the GMC side, up to $13,000 off MSRP or 0.0 APR. That's a great deal in this truck month over at Fabry Chevrolet. Get by and see him, Highway 61 in St. Francisville, or check him out online at FabryChevrolet.com. FabryChevrolet.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Closing up hour number one here. Opening day coming up on Friday, and we'll have lots more coverage. I've got position previews up at louisianasports.net. I've been doing them here as well, and I'll write a bold predictions piece tomorrow, and we'll talk about it on the show, and we'll get the lineup on Friday and have that in the first hour and talk about it. But one of the things that I love doing is just realizing when you see him unveil that lineup for the first time, it almost always has massive, massive changes by the time you get to the games that decide your season in June. And my favorite little nugget that I've tossed out every year this time, because I just think it's hilarious, is the designated hitter on opening day for the 2009 National Championship team was Chad Jones. Chad Jones went to play football in the spring, came back and was a relief pitcher by the end of the season, was certainly nowhere to be found in the everyday lineup. But he was the designated hitter on opening day. And for more recent seasons, like in 2023, it's a national championship team. Y'all know that team very well. Like Gavin Dugas and Cade Beloso were not in the lineup opening day. They were not in the lineup. On that day, Gavin Guidry was a freshman shortstop. He ended up throwing the last pitch of the season as a closer. So that's a massive, massive deal. On opening day 2024, Josh Pearson played second. He was the second baseman. Like, they quit that experiment pretty quickly. Stephen Milam ended up winning that job, and Pearson went back to the outfield, and that was that. But you didn't know that on opening day. Milam was an unproven freshman who had a bad fall. Last year, I went back and looked at last year's lineup because I didn't remember. I didn't have there wasn't one that immediately came to my mind. Like, I know those off the top of my head. I did not know this one. So I went back to last year's opening day lineup, and I went through and I went, I know that's not exactly what it was because Pearson's DHing and Brown's in right. Who am I missing? Oh, Ethan Fry didn't start on opening day last year. You know, maybe the best hitter on the team. I mean, you could make the point that Ethan Fry was the best hitter on the team last year at the end of the season. When you look at the season-long statistics, Curiel hit 345 and Fry hit 331. But Fry hit 13 homers to Curiel's 7. It's what and what. Like, Curiel's season was better, but Fry was a really impactful bat, and he did not start on opening day. So when you look at the lineup that comes out on Friday and you start to go through and project how things are going to go for the season, almost always, there's a significant change or three. And to last year's team's credit, the 9 guys that started on opening day were huge pieces at the end of the season. Because even though Brown and Pearson were both in the lineup in that game and they ended up platooning in right, they were in the lineup every other game, and you just inserted Fry into that extra spot with one of them going to the bench. So it wasn't as if someone who was a starter just completely fell off the face of the earth. Like, y'all remember when Will Helmer started at third base on opening day, don't you? Third base. It's a pitcher. So things are always very, very different, and there's a guy that we're not talking about enough, and there's a guy that we're talking about too much. But that's the beauty of baseball season. That's the thing I love about baseball season, is that far more often than not, the roster shifts and swirls make the team take new shape. It doesn't happen as much in football. Like every once in a while, a freshman kind of breaks through. Maybe there's a wide receiver who didn't play a lot in game 1. By game 10, he's way more involved. But you generally kind of keep the same thing all the way through, and you just got to play better. In basketball, like sometimes a guy that didn't play much on opening night becomes a starter down the line, but more often than not, you know what 7 guys you're going to trust in a college basketball season, and you generally have the right 5 guys on opening night. In baseball, it can be wildly different, and I anticipate that probably will be. Like if you made me guess, I'd say that either Omar Cerna or certainly Mason Braun makes a push here. The more likely thing, though, and we'll talk about this as the week goes on, is that of the guys that start on the mound Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's probably going to change moving forward. That's the biggest risk of significant change, I think. We'll see. That's it for hour number 1. If you missed it on demand, you can catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Just search on Palmer Show. Hunt on LSU for your LSU coverage. Hunt on Saints for your Saints coverage. Still got a lot to do after national headlines for Sports Center. Come back with us for hour number 2.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Go take a tour at Marucci. Awesome spot here in Baton Rouge, and they started in the Backwoods Shed there in 2004. 22 years later, the official bat of Major League Baseball. So visit the wood shop that's responsible for the bats in the hands of Major League players of all ages around the world. To learn more, go to maruccisports.com/campus-tour. Take your youth baseball team. Take your youth softball team. Take your family. Go by yourself. It's such a cool place here in our city of Baton Rouge. It's now an international brand. It's known everywhere in the baseball world. But its heartbeat's right here in Baton Rouge, and it's a cool place to go check out. So if you want to give your youth baseball or softball team a chance at a bonding experience to do something really cool, take them over to Marucci. Let them take some hacks in the cage. See where Major League stars' bats are born. It's Marucci. You can check them out online, maruccisports.com, maruccisports.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Hood Dental Care, giving back and spreading smiles is what we love most. This Valentine's Day, we're inviting you to help us change someone's life with our Valentine's Day Smile Giveaway. Do you know someone who deserves a smile makeover? Nominate them today. Just visit the Hood Dental Care Facebook page and fill out the entry form. Submissions are open now through February 13th. One special winner will be chosen and announced on Valentine's Day. It's the Hood Dental Care Valentine's Day Smile Giveaway. Good luck!
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Saying time is the best healer, Patriots quarterback Drake May told reporters he won't require off-season surgery on his injured right shoulder, acknowledged the significance of the hit he took in the AFC Championship game. May, who took a pain-killing injection before the Super Bowl, wouldn't blame the shoulder for his struggles in the big game loss to the Seahawks.
You can't, blame things on injuries. Things happen like this all the time in the league. It was blessed this year. What a year of health and blessings for me this year. You can't stone it on one little thing on the shoulder. So it's just unfortunate. It happened to be throwing one, but at the same time, I could have prevented it or, made more plays. I was feeling like I was able to make throws in the game and was myself.
Drake May. Despite blocking multiple blocking miscues in the Super Bowl, New England is committed to keeping Will Campbell at left tackle, according to coach Mike Vrabel. Mets president of baseball operations David Stern said shortstop Francisco Lindor may need surgery for a stress reaction in his left hamate bone. Team's confident, though, he'd be ready for opening day if he has the surgery. Stearns also said that Juan Soto will be moving from right field to left field this season.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, LeBron James said the Lakers aren't title contenders. I'll tell you why he's to blame for all of it. Really? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Sharif Ishak coming up in 30 minutes. LSU and Arkansas dealing with some injuries tonight in the Assembly Center. We'll briefly touch on that as well. We are going to start with baseball here in this segment and going to talk some relief pitchers. Now, this is going to be a segment that might not be for everybody because I know that right now is the biggest chasm of knowledge gap on this baseball team in terms of the fan base. There are some of y'all that have been so locked in on this since the fall. You know everything. You've read my preseason stuff at LouisianaSports.net. You and your buddies text about it. You have listened to Jay Johnson press conferences. You have listened to this show. You're checking out Musso at the Box every single day. Like, you're locked in. You know it all. And this will probably be a segment that you can really sink your teeth into. There are some of you that have never heard about some of the guys I'm about to talk about because you're going to go out to the Box on Sunday this week, and that'll be kind of the first time you've seen it, and you'll look forward to getting to know these guys as you watch them play. Neither one of those is the wrong way to be, but if you're in the second camp, this is going to be a lot of information. It's going to be like drinking out of a fire hose, okay? Because that is indicative of how many pitchers LSU has to work with on this team. I want to be clear about my feelings in the big picture and my sense of this current roster. The best way to go win a national championship is to have a dominant ace and a great number two. That's the best way to do it. In recent history, Anderson Ianson, absolutely. You saw the two kids at Ole Miss, Hunter Elliott being one of them, with Dylan DeLucia. Those two guys, they rode them to a championship. You saw, obviously, what Ty Floyd and Paul Skeens were able to do. having that 1-2 is massive. It's massive in an SEC series. It's massive in a regional. It's massive in a super. It's massive in Omaha. We know that. It's not the only way. Tennessee didn't have it. I guess that was 2 years ago. And they got there with a great offense, good defense, and a pitching coach in Frank Anderson that did a really good job of managing things. I'm not telling you that LSU can't have a dominant 1-2. Evans, Schmidt, Moore, Williams. There are candidates to emerge as stars on this team. And if that happens, then I don't have anything to hypothesize about. You send them out there, you go win the games. If you got the stars, play the stars. Awesome. What if it doesn't quite work that way? What if your ace, your number 2, your number 3 are good? Like, you can't get there with bad starting pitching. But what if they're just good arms? But instead, the dominance is not just Cade Anderson at the top. It's not just Anthony Heinsohn at the top. Because the odds are LSU's not going to have 2 of the top 3 strikeout guys in the nation on their staff this year. I hope they do. The odds are they don't. What if the dominance is actually the bullpen guys? What if LSU's best card to play in this baseball season is we've got 13 guys, trim that down, we've got 7 guys we think can handle you. We got 7 pitchers we think we can handle you with. That's what we're going to do. I've never seen it done. LSU's never been that way before. But there aren't a lot of teams that can stockpile talent like LSU can. So for the purposes of that discussion, I'm going to just give you an example of what that might look like on a weekend. Give you an example of what that might look like in an SEC weekend. And then I'll extrapolate on what it could mean in June later. Just work with me here. Kason Evans doesn't become the guy that you need out there for 119 pitches, just carving teams up. He just doesn't. He isn't that guy. But what did we see from him last year in 3-inning stints? What did we see from him last year in 4-inning stints? Dominance. What if he's really good for 5 innings? What if he's really good for 85, 90 pitches? Gives you 5 innings on a Friday. Well, here's what I would come behind him with. Okay, you got a couple tough lefties coming up. I think Ethan Plog is going to be a stud on this team from the left side. He throws the 6th inning on Friday. Maverick Rizzi, you've seen him. He throws like 99 miles an hour. He's 6'9". What if he comes out and gets you 6 outs? Now you're to the 9th. You okay giving the ball to Gavin Guidry at that point? I am. We've seen him do it in the past for 2 years. So Friday, Evans for 5, Plog for 1, Rizzi for 2, Guidry for 1. Okay. You've gotten 1 game in the rearview mirror. Let's, for the sake of the hypothetical, go with Cooper Moore in game 2. Another 5-inning start from Cooper Moore. He gives you 5. Where do you go from there? Santiago Garcia, good left-handed pitcher. Big breaking ball, was Oregon's best reliever down the stretch last year. He can get you 3 outs. Give me an inning. Devin Sheeran. That's a guy who throws 96, 97, big breaking ball. What if he gives me an inning after that? Then I've got to get 6 more outs. We think Jaden Newt can get 6 outs? He's throwing 95. He's got a devastating changeup. He's now an older player, a veteran, has pitched in some big spots. I don't see a huge problem with that. I've now gotten through 18 innings. And I go to Sunday. Cooper Williams. Can he give me 5 innings? Maybe it's 4, but for the sake, let's go 5. If he gives me 4, give me Zach Cowan for 3. If he gives me 5, give me Zach Cowan for 2. Either way, I'm through 7 innings. And I still have Grant Fontenot, who has found this renaissance. He looks phenomenal. He's throwing above 95 miles an hour. I asked a guy inside the program in December, I was like, what got into Fontenot? He's throwing it crazy. People just develop at different rates. But if Fontenot goes an inning, and oh, by the way, in this hypothetical, I haven't used William Schmidt yet either. There's the 9th inning on Sunday. Again, this is pie in the sky stuff, but just for the sake of of laying things out, I just gave you Evans, Plog, Rizzi, Guidry on Friday. Moore, Garcia, Sheeran, Newt on Saturday. Williams, Cowan, Fontenot, Schmidt on Sunday. And I got through all my innings. And I have not used DJ Primo, who threw 3 times in the NCAA tournament for LSU last year. Got 1 out all 3 times. I have not used Marcos Paz, who I think is going to be a star. He's right-handed. He throws 97. He's as talented a freshman pitcher as they have in the program. I think he's going to be a star. I didn't use him in this situation. Did not use Danny Lockenmeyer, left-hander from North Dakota State, who got 9 saves last year. I did not use Reagan Ricken, who's a talented freshman. I think he profiles as a starter in his career at LSU, but he's got to ease into that. I didn't use Connor Benj, who actually was one of LSU's primary bullpen guys until he lost command of the strike zone and lost his role last year. But, you have 5 guys there that I didn't even use in this scenario. And you used William Schmidt for 1 inning in this scenario. William Schmidt might be a 7-inning guy on game 2s. But, the point of the matter is, I never in this game that I just played, I did not throw a single freshman. I did not throw a single walk-on. I didn't use anybody twice. And I never asked for something completely unreasonable from anybody. 5 innings from 3 starting pitchers. And then I asked 3 guys to go 2 innings. Maverick Rizzi, Jaden Newton, Zach Cowan. They can do that. The point being, and college baseball is different than Major League Baseball, because in college baseball, generally speaking, your dudes are your dudes, and there aren't that many dudes, and you lean on your dudes. Go to LSU in Omaha last year, got to the championship series. Anderson for 9, Ianson for 7 2/3, Shores for 1 inning and 1/3, ball game. Your dudes. But in Major League Baseball, everybody's got a lot of dudes, so they just chop things up. Everybody pitches in short stints. You go all out. You throw 97. Done. And look, Evans can throw 95. Rizzi can throw 95. Sheeran can throw 95. Newt can throw 95. Fontenot can throw 95. Schmidt can throw 95. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys I trotted out there that throw 95 miles an hour plus. I'm leaning on veterans in Guidry and Cowan and Garcia and Newt. Left-handers, I've got 3 of them in this situation. Plog, Garcia, and Williams. The point is not that every weekend should work out exactly like that. The point is that it's not unreasonable to do the exercise. And generally speaking, we sit here in January and February and we overestimate how many arms LSU is going to actually use. In this case, I might be doing that. I might be just underestimating what LSU has in the starting rotation. And so maybe I'm wrong. But that's what this time of year is just for discussion. So to clarify, option 1 is for LSU to develop 3 great weekend starters. That almost never happens. It happened in 2017. Lang, Poche, Walker. That's the last time I remember that happening. You had the Landon Marceau, Mikhail Hilliard, AJ Labus teams, but that wasn't what I'm talking about. Option 1 is to have 3 studs. Option 2 is to have 2 studs, figure out Sunday. That's usually how it works out. Usually. But there's an option 3 here that's okay, give me some guys who are good for 4 or 5 innings, and then depending on what the score is and who the opponent is and what the leverage situation in the game is, I'll determine when I want to use these good lefties, when I want to use these flame-throwing right-handers, when I want to use these veterans, and we'll just piece it together. It's not the way I want to do it. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here or come up with a better option. I think it's a worse option. I don't think it's an impossible option. And I'm personally a little bit guarded about this rotation. A little bit. Not concerned, not terrified, not calling it a hole in the roster. I'm just I think they're good, but we'll see. Because we grade on the hardest curve in the sport here in Baton Rouge. What works for LSU, trying to win a championship in Omaha, doesn't necessarily, what works for a team that's not in that position doesn't work here. I'm trying to find the route to the championship level performance from the pitching staff. Maybe it's using the depth. Maybe the depth, instead of the 1-2 starting rotation, is the trump card for this team. You won't find out this weekend. Milwaukee's going to be overmatched. But it's something I'll keep an eye on, and I'm curious to see if it's a doable deal. I went through this exercise with Musso in our season preview that you can find on 104.5 ESPN's YouTube stream, so you can check that out. It's about an hour long. But I went through this exercise with him. He's not wild about it. I get it, but I don't think it's unreasonable. Just not preferable at this point. So we'll see. We'll talk Sharif Ishak in 15 minutes. We'll come back, discuss injuries for the PMAC tonight. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Let me tell you about my friends over at Lifetime Roofing. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is that website. Want financing? They got it. 0% up to 18 months. If you've got a deductible that's rather sizable and you're getting a new roof put on, they can finance that as well. How about this for Lifetime Roofing? As of January 1st, they are happy to give you a lifetime workmanship warranty, and that warranty includes, 1, the workmanship, obviously, but 2, the materials. And those materials are backed by CertainTeed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. So if you're looking for professional installation of gutters, sidings, and windows, they got that at Lifetime Roofing. And of course, if you're looking for a new roof anywhere in the state of Louisiana, they can help you out with that. Roofs are important down here in our part of the world. You know there's always another hurricane season that is coming. Make sure your house is protected with that fortified roof from the folks at Lifetime Roofing. You can find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetimeroofingla.com.
Make Raising Cane's the first stop for your second line. Get extra saucy with a Cane's doubloon for just $1 that scores you extra cane sauce through April 3rd with any purchase. Let the good times roll this Mardi Gras with Raising Cane's. One love.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Time for you to start thinking about getting that new zero-turn mower. How about grabbing a Hustler from my friends at Gotros Outdoor Power? You've got options on where to buy your zero-turn mowers, right? There's reasons why you need to go with Gotros. They're locally owned and operated, family-owned and operated. When the customer service that they're going to provide to you is just going to be second to none. They've got trucks running all day, all over the state. They deliver both equipment and parts all over the state. You don't have a trailer and you want to purchase that new mower? That's all right. Gotros, they'll get it to you. You got an issue with some of your equipment? That's all right. Gotros will go. They'll pick it up. They'll bring it in. They'll handle things for you. That's what you don't get from the big box stores that you will get from Gotros Outdoor Power. Looking for financing on a mower? They can get you behind the wheel of a new mower for $100 a month. $100 a month. It's $75 a week just to get your grass cut in the summer, right? Check them out online at GotrosOnline.com. GotrosOnline.com. 2 locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales. 22 years in business. Go check them out. It's Gotros Outdoor Power. All right, tonight in the PMAC, 8 o'clock, LSU and Arkansas. 2 teams that are going to be shorthanded tonight. LSU, of course, going to be without Deon Thomas, which is just become far, far too common at this point. He will miss the game. He's been ruled out. But also, Arkansas is going to be shorthanded in their backcourt. Not going to have DJ Wagner, who was a huge recruit when he signed with Kentucky under John Calipari, was the McDonald's All-American Game MVP. Has kind of found his way through Lexington into Fayetteville and has been a nice player with them. Not necessarily a star. Darius Acuff is that. But not necessarily a star, but he's been a good player. And then also, they're not going to have Carter Knox. Both guys have started 18 games this year, so you're talking about 2 starters coming out of the lineup for Arkansas. So that weakens Arkansas. The problem is that Arkansas has Darius Acuff. And like on Friday of last week, I gave you a reason maybe to go watch the game or to watch the game on TV because it was probably going to be high scoring, and Georgia scored a lot of points. Tonight, you're seeing one of the best players in the country in the PMAC. Darius Acuff is a star, and he was so good against LSU in Fayetteville. LSU in that game really handled themselves pretty well. It was that weird weather situation in Fayetteville, and still Hog fans got into Bud Walton Arena in reasonable numbers in that winter storm event. And LSU played well and had a lead in the second half and were right there in striking distance. They could not guard Acuff, and I don't see a way they're going to guard him tonight. Pablo Tomba's probably going to draw that assignment. He's got some length, but Acuff's he's just too good. And I think if I'm Matt McMahon tonight, I'm going to take Deon Thomas. Well, he's not on the floor. I'm going to take Darius Acuff, and I'm going to throw 2 guys at him and try to get him to give the basketball up, knowing that he doesn't have 2 of his best options on the wing to play with him. Is that going to work? We'll see. John Calipari's done a pretty good job with this Arkansas team. They played really, really well early in the season. It hasn't been as good of late, but LSU is basically in free fall. They've lost 4 games on their home floor in league play. Arkansas is 7-3 in the league. They have not been as good away from Bud Walton. At Bud Walton, they're 12-1. Away from Bud Walton, they are 5-5, 3-3 away from home and on the road, and then 2-2 in a neutral site. Arkansas's last time out back on Saturday, they lost to Houston. Sorry, that was a few Saturdays ago. They went to Mississippi State and won by 20. They lost at Kentucky the week before that in a game that was controlled by the Cats, basically start to finish. Mark Pope's team did a good job in Fayetteville. So, look, it's running out the string at this point for LSU. I'm not here to break down the ins and outs of the game. If you're a basketball fan, Darius Acuff is worth the price of admission for sure. There's an NBA scout that's going to be sitting in my seat on press row tonight because I'm going to be at Court to Table doing trivia. But we'll be watching the game at Court to Table, and you can come on by and hang out with us, win some gift cards, and watch the game. Darius Acuff will be great. If LSU's going to win this game, they're going to have to shoot it better. It's not like game-breaking breakdown. It's like not some sort of massive analytics win for me here. But if you go out there again and you go miss 16 threes in a row, which they did against Georgia, 16 in a row, well, you lose because they don't play great defense. Teams are going to score on them. Arkansas is going to score on them. And LSU can keep up on their good days, but you have to score, and you have to make jump shots. And too often LSU hasn't done it. And the best shot creator on the team doesn't play very often. He's not going to play tonight. So it's a pair of shorthanded teams, a superstar on one side of the floor and an LSU basketball team that's just scratching, fighting, clawing, trying to get a win. I would sincerely guess that LSU will come out tonight and play very hard. PMAC will not be full. Team doesn't have a lot to play for, but I think they'll play hard. I just don't think they'll win because Arkansas is better than them, even without 2 starting guards, because LSU doesn't have their most important player. And I'm not trying to keep bringing that up to be like, oh, Hunt's making excuses, this and that. It's just a reality. Like he's their leading assist man and leading scorer, and they're an offensive team. So without him, it's tough. You're going to need a great game from McKinnon on the wing, and hopefully Acuff doesn't shoot it very well. But my guess is things will not be super chummy in the Maravich Center tonight. Lose your 5th conference home game, that just says a lot. And the schedule's not gonna ease up a lot moving forward either. You still got to play Tennessee. You still got to play Alabama. It's just not a pleasant time here for hoops. So we'll leave hoops right there in the rearview mirror. We'll step aside and come back and chat Saints with Sharif Isaac when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. FabryChevrolet.com is that website. Highway 61 in St. Francisville. It's truck month there in St. Francisville. It's truck month at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. $11,000 up to $11,000 off Silverados. 1.9% APR financing. $13,000 off of MSRP for GMC Sierras. 0.0 financing. And on the service side, they service all makes in the service department as well. So whether you're looking for a new vehicle, looking for a pre-owned vehicle, or just want to get some service done to your vehicle, Fabry Chevrolet GMC should be your first call and your first stop. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. You can make the short drive from Baton Rouge, north of Baton Rouge, and Felicianas or Point Capee. Go see them at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. The entire inventory, all of it, is online at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor of the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Okay, and what is our goal?
Less than 110.
That's right, less than 110.
We teach. We laugh. We pray.
Dear Heavenly Father, please guide our hands during this procedure.
Hey, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling better.
We heal. You look better.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
We do all things I got you. No way. with great love. FMOL Health. This is how we healthcare.
Make Raising Cane's the first stop for your second line. Get extra saucy with a Cane's Doubloon for just $1 that scores you extra cane sauce through April 3rd with any purchase. Let the good times roll this Mardi Gras with Raising Cane's. One love.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at DecisionCriticalBR.com and give us a call today to get started.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Moving right along here on a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll head out to Jim's Firearms Hotlines now. Chat with Sharif Ishak, WDSU down in New Orleans. Sharif, how we doing?
Good, Hunt. How are you?
Doing quite well. Let's go like super big picture here on the Saints. I did a segment in my first hour talking about ESPN, Fox, and Sporting News ranking the Saints coming out of this season between 25th and 26th in the NFL in terms of the season they just had. Where do you see the Saints right now, big picture, in the landscape of the NFL based on their record, their finish, the quarterback, the new coach? Like, I'm not asking specifically, but like generally speaking, where are they?
I think it's fair to say that they're in the 20s. I would say like around that 22 to 26 range. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I know they finished really strong, and I'm just basing it on how the season finished and how strong they were able to close out. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I'm going to go 22 to 25. I mean, that's pretty much about as fair as that can be, because I don't know what this team is like against good teams. I don't know what it's like 17 games into a season, 9 games, a 9-game stretch with Tyler Sharp. We'll probably put it around, I would say, 22 to me. I mean, and I know there's like 10 more teams, and they finished, with the 9th worst record. So I think that's fair. I mean, that truly is fair. I mean, so they're right around the same place as I'm at.
So what's realistic for 2026? Like, where should they finish in those power rankings in 2026?
So I kind of looked at it this way. I know this might be a little bit of a crazy comparison. When Dan Campbell took over the Lions, how they made steady improvements, and they got better players, better playmakers, and Jared Goff got better and better, the coaching got better. So I think if they can go from 6 to around 8, 9 wins, that'll put them right around that, 17, 18, 19 range. So if they can jump up, let's just say, if I give them 22 this year and they jump up to 17, that's 5 more spots. That should be around 2 or 3 more wins to me, in my opinion. That should get them around that 15 mark right there, 17 mark. So, I mean, I think that's, realistic goal for them. They have one of the easier, if not the easiest schedules next year. And you expect them to add some good free agents, to add a decent draft. Once again, you had to hope that, and maybe some of your star veterans come back and play one more year, and that'll get you to that 17 range, and you have it 8, 9, or 9, 8.
That's really modest, Sharif. Like, seriously, I would imagine most Saints fans drinking the Kool-Aid of that last month are going, no, we can win 10 or 11 games next year. We can be in the top 15, in the top 12.
Well, I'm just trying to be realistic.
Okay.
I'm trying to, not be a fan. I'm not trying to be a fan. I'm optimistically realistic. That's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to make that Detroit Lions jump, where you go from 6 wins to about 9 wins, and then after that you can get to the 10 to 12 win season in year 3 under Tyler Shuck, which would get them 2027, and that's the year I've been telling you going into that season where they have a lot of money and able to perform and get to that double-digit win.
So that's interesting because that sets it up pretty clearly. You think they can be, on the high end, a contender in the NFC in 2027. That's a reasonable expectation for a Saints fan to have. Would you share that?
Yeah, they can be realistically a top 4 team in the NFC in 2027. Next year, they can realistically compete for the NFC South and sneak into the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying they're a top 4 team in the NFC, because you know how the NFC South, they're just going to get that one home game because of the division. But I truly think that they can compete for the South next year, and then the year after that, they can compete as a top 3 or 4 team in the NFC as a whole and maybe win a playoff game or 2.
So with that in mind, now you take your thought on this offseason, and there's a thought that, okay, maybe Shuck's emergence accelerates things a little bit, but then there's also a wait, you don't want to burn it into overdrive here. Be cautious. So what does that look like for you over the next 3 months?
For me, it's you got to temper the expectations. You have to be careful with Tyler Shuck, and you have to also make sure you build around him the right way. You don't want to set all these expectations. You make all these people happy that he was at the Super Bowl week. He was a finalist for Rookie of the Year, and then now you're thinking, oh my God, we have to be that team that wins 10 to 12 games next year, which would be awesome if they surpass what I say and do that in year 2. But you have to seriously set those expectations to be realistic. So I think they have to take it in levels, take it in steps, and make sure you build to where you can see those steps being taken. You want to make sure that they don't take any steps back. You don't want to make sure you have any long-term injuries. So I think that it all starts with, like I keep saying, it has to be the interior of that line. You show up at interior of the line, and then you start thinking about, all right, maybe we are going to be good because now Tyler is back there looking even more comfortable. And if you make him comfortable, the team becomes comfortable, and then those win totals start to rack up. So I think you have to take that cautiously optimistic approach in order to continue making those strides in this franchise. I just don't think you should set such high expectations going into this next season.
Demario Davis and Cam Jordan were out in San Francisco for various reasons back last week for Super Bowl week. What did you gather from their appearances, their comments as we enter the offseason, and they're in very similar situations, being 37 years old come the kickoff of next year and coming off great seasons?
Well, chasing down Cam Jordan was hard because he had a lot of obligations. We didn't get a chance to talk to Cam Jordan. Quite a few of us were chasing him down, but he was just so busy. He was like, I'm trying to get to y'all. We never got a chance to talk to him, had a chance to talk to Benjamin Watson and Demario Davis. Demario Davis just put us in and said, hey, look, I love New Orleans. No matter what, I'm a New Orleanian pretty much. I'm going to do everything inside this community. Whatever happens here, he's like, I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to finish my career with the Saints. And he understands, though, there's a business aspect to it. And maybe the Saints don't come to the table with what he wants to hear. But maybe no other team comes to the table with what he wants to hear. And he's left with a decision. Does he want to go to the better? Is it going to be the better the devil you know than the devil you don't? Or do you just say, all right, just, going to try something new, even though it's the same amount of money? But to me, if I think it's equal playing field in terms of a contract, I don't see him not finishing his career in New Orleans. And it feels like, just listening to him, he wants to be here, mostly because of what he said this past offseason, that he wants to help get this team, this franchise, where it once upon a time was. He said it's like a 3-year process. That was year 1. This year would be year 2. And the year after that would be year 3. I think he wants to be a part of that build, and you can continue to ask him those questions, and you can kind of hear it in his voice. That's what he wants to do. He wants to make sure that he leaves this franchise better than he found it, or better than it was in his previous 5 seasons. And my gut tells me that I just think he's just so important that you have to have him back. That's that position where they need to keep having some consistency and a playmaker there, because outside of Demario, I mean, it's at times it's tough. It really is tough. So I think that he's back, and I think Cam Jordan's back. I do think Cam Jordan's back at least one more year.
Do we completely lost my train of thought there. Sharif Ishak's our guest, WDSU in New Orleans. Oh, Derek Carr. There's a reason that just wasn't front of mind. Do we think the Saints are going to end up getting something for Derek Carr, who comes back to the NFL?
The teams are going to be desperate, man. They got some teams out there who desperately need a veteran quarterback presence, even though the quarterback class in free agency is not great, and the draft class isn't that great. So what I'm thinking is, you know what, Derek Carr might be able to net you like a 5th and a 7th, maybe a 4th and a 7th. I don't know. I mean, he can still play a little bit. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback who's been there, done that. Not the greatest of numbers, but still, he could still get you something, maybe a 5th and a 7th. I mean, I guess if you got a 5th and a 7th or a 4th and a 7th, you should be.
If they got 2 picks for him, I'd do a backflip.
Yeah, I mean, but 5th and a 7th, I mean, that really.
It's really better than nothing. The alternative is nothing. I'll take a 5th and a 7th over nothing all day.
You got to understand, Hunt, teams are going to be desperate this offseason.
Yeah.
Because the draft class and the free agency class is just so weak. I mean, look at the Steelers. Who are they going to roll with? I mean, who are the Raiders going to roll with outside of Fernando Mendoza? I mean, there are a lot of teams that are going to be hungry for quarterbacks this offseason that need a veteran quarterback. And you're just thinking, man, we are in a good spot. If Derek Carr's come back, we can pretty much ask for at least a 5th-round pick. And if you get a 7th and a 5th and a 7th, that's like, all right, that's awesome. But if you just get a 5th and a 6th or a 6th, whatever, he already saved you money last year. You got something from him for him this year. So I think that they I truly think if he comes back, that I think they're going to get something that's decent for them.
How much work you got to do to this weekend? How much work you have next Tuesday?
All right, so this weekend, I usually take off Saturday and Sunday, but I decided that, nothing did me in Saturday, plus it looks like it's going to rain, so I let Kendall have Saturday off.
Okay.
Sunday, Bacchus Sunday is my favorite day, so I'm always off on Bacchus Sunday, and then Tuesday, I work. This year, I get the awesome assignment of working and being live on the Zulu float this year, so this is my first time.
Ah, on the float. I see you, Sharif. All right. Well, we'll give you a rain check next week on Tuesday, but enjoy some time off this weekend, and Mardi Gras on Tuesday. We'll talk in a couple of weeks.
You got it, Hunt.
Sharif Ishak, WDSU down there in New Orleans. Of course, it is Mardi Gras weekend in the Big Easy. I think the Palmer fam's going to make an appearance uptown on Sunday for Toth is what it appears is going to happen for us. Then right on back to BR. That will cause me to miss some baseball, but I'm going to try to get to baseball on Saturday. That was the plan. Now the weather looks terrible on Saturday. Opening day is during my show. All kinds of problems, but I think I am going to get out there on Wednesday. Sorry, not Wednesday, on Monday of next week, because my show ends at 3. The game's at 3. I can be at the box for like 3:15. So that's probably the first game that I'll get to see in its entirety.
Time out. 3:15.
Yeah, I can get to the box at 3:15, no problem.
From like immediately after this show?
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
Absolutely.
Ain't no way. Like, I can parking too? Like, you must got like a parking spot. Like,
yeah, I got a parking pass for the media deal. Okay. So yeah, that won't be. I just zip right down Nicholson. I'm there.
Okay. I'm like, and you find it like, yep. Okay. I didn't know you had a parking spot. I'm like, okay, well that makes sense. I'm like, just
no tailgating, no super fun for me during LSU sporting events, but convenience.
Okay.
I get some of that. I get some convenience. I get some free food. That's also pretty mediocre, but just no tailgating and fun. But convenience, I get. Okay. So you take what you can get. So I'll be at the box in some capacity at some point over the course of the next few days. Just not exactly sure when. So let me tell you about Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com is the website. Awesome spot. I mentioned it might rain on Saturday. Well, that doesn't matter. You can still play golf. Maybe the course would be damp on Sunday and you don't really want to be out there. You can play at Swing Easy Golf Club. Just go book a tee time, get one of those private bays. They'll bring you a bucket of beers, fire up Pebble Beach. They're playing Pebble Beach this week on the PGA Tour. You can play it while the tour players play it at Swing Easy Golf Club. You hit your drives, hit your approach shots, you chip and putt, the whole deal, card a score, compete with your friends, or go work on your game by yourself. It's a great place to go hang out, incorporate a little golf into your weekend, even if the weather is not super awesome. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge or Segan at Perkins, online at swingeasygcbr.com. We'll come back and close up shop. It is a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. Jonathan Carbo and his team, phenomenal folks in the insurance game, commercial, property, and casualty. They've got you covered. If you're a business owner, you're not sure what a co-insurance penalty is. You're not sure what your deductible is. You're not sure what EPL insurance is or what actually constitutes a cyber breach that would be covered by insurance. You're not sure if all your employees are properly rated on workers' comp. You just know what you pay. If that's the case, might want to get a second set of eyeballs on that policy. The Highland Insurance Group employs just a crew of technical experts. They know what they're looking for. They know what carriers like which businesses. They've got clients in your line of work, and they can make it work for you and make sure that not only is the price right, but the coverage is right too, so that when one of your employees clicks that email they're not supposed to, you're covered. When there's a car accident, you're covered. When that hurricane comes through and you can't get into the office for a week, you are covered. That's what they're here for at the Highland Insurance Group. Find them online at HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com.
Make Raising Cane's the first stop for your second line. Get extra saucy with a Cane's Doubloon for just $1 that scores you extra cane sauce through April 3rd with any purchase. Let the good times roll this Mardi Gras with Raising Cane's. One love.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized, it'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Moving towards the finish line here on a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. LSU in Arkansas tonight in the PMAC at 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock is pregame. It'll be Voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair and John Brady courtside at the Assembly Center. You can listen to that on Eagle 98.1. And you can go. I would encourage you to go watch LSU in Arkansas tonight. If you don't, and you are looking for something to do, we'll be at Court at the Table at the same time. 8 o'clock, we'll be there. Sports trivia. We'll have the game on TV, so if you want to watch LSU in Arkansas, you can. Eat their great food, delicious drinks, win some gift cards. You can win $25 in every round. There are 5 rounds, so plenty of gift card cash up for grabs at Court to Table. We're on Burbank, so grab a team. Come by yourself. Come hang out on Tuesdays. We'll be there watching the Tigers, winning gift cards, delicious drinks, great food. Always festive time there on Tuesday. Looking forward to getting out to Court to Table this evening on Burbank. Lots that we got to on the show today. Talked LSU football at the top of the show. Had a couple of different Saints segments today. You can find our Saints content online at Hunt on Saints. You can also find our LSU content, Hunt on LSU. Talk some baseball in hour number 2 as well. Relief pitching and kind of how I think this thing could shake out if 2 dominant starters don't emerge. It's not the preferred way to do it, but it's potentially a way to do it. So we'll see kind of how things move forward in this college baseball season that starts up on Friday. We have traditionally done opening day out at the box on this show. Decided against that this year, so I'm going to be on from 1 to 3 as normal. First pitch at 2 o'clock. So we'll do a lot of pregame baseball talk on Friday from 1 to 2, and then I'll shift into some football stuff and some basketball in the second hour as LSU and Milwaukee get underway from the box. It's a wraparound weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for LSU this weekend. If you want to get out there and see the Tigers, you get 4 chances on the first weekend. They also are back in action on Wednesday, where they go to Jacksonville to take on Indiana, Notre Dame, and Central Florida over in that Peak Events tournament from Jacksonville. So that's kind of a bit of housekeeping here on this Tuesday. Now one more order of business. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so head coach Mike Vrabel came out today and said that New England is committed to Will Campbell at left tackle. And Vrabel said, and I quote, "Will is 22 years old. He's our left tackle. He'll get better. He'll get stronger. There are moments he played well. There are moments he blocked the guy. There are plays that he would like to have back." So is keeping Will Campbell at left tackle the right move? Take it or leave it?
I'll take it for now. As he mentioned, he's 22. I can't tell on the internet what's real and what's fake at this point, and I didn't put a lot of stock into it, that he might have had a knee injury.
Oh, no. So he did. So it came out today that Campbell said that he tore his meniscus or something. That's what he had earlier.
You know what's not great? Trying to block all-pro pass rushers with torn meniscuses. Yeah. So I think Will be fine. If he has to settle at right tackle or if he has to settle at left guard, it's possible. He's a really talented player. He's a great dude, a great guy in the locker room. He handled himself, I think, pretty well in the media. I said yesterday, I wish you would have spoken to the media after the game. I'm not going to, torture him for not. But I think, as a rookie, he acquitted himself okay. He's just got to get better. I mean, rookies tend to get better.
Yeah, so Charles Bediako, college career is over again after Alabama circuit judge denied his motion for a preliminary injunction Monday, ending the 7-footer's career with the Crimson Tide. So is this a step in the right direction? Take it or leave it.
I mean, I'll take it, I guess.
But
it's such a ridiculous step that we had to take in this direction because we took a guy from the G League and put him on a college team, which was ludicrous to everyone involved, including Nate Oates, who was like, "Yeah, I mean, probably not the greatest idea, but what am I supposed to do?" Like,
I'm trying to win.
And look, if they say that's within the rules, what am I to say? I'm not a big Nate Oates guy. I think everyone's well aware of that. In fact, of all the coaches in the SEC in every sport, he's last on my list.
Really?
But yes.
Really?
You tell my coach to GTFO, I'm not going to forgive you for that anytime soon. Plus the fact he just looks like an angry man all the time.
He's hyped up. He's hyped
all
up.
the time.
Yeah.
So it's just not. He coaches at Alabama. He wins a lot. He's yelled at my team. There's too many ingredients here that are going to send me the other way. I hope he's a great husband, father, grandfather, whatever. On the basketball floor, I wish him no success whatsoever.
Yeah, this is ridiculous to say the least. I mean, and then I know you heard the chant where it was like, G League, drop out.
Yep.
I'm going to be real hard. I might have started crying. You might have got a tear out of me on the bench or something. That would have hurt my feelings. But all right. So Darren Peterson. So this is an interesting situation. Darren Peterson.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. I know that there is news from this game.
Well,
he's really good.
Oh, I mean, he might be the number one pick.
Yeah.
So he might go as the number one pick. But an hour before tip-off, versus number one Arizona last night, it came out that he has flu-like symptoms after being seen warming up, and he was on the bench during the game. And if you know the flu, it's contagious.
It is a little contagious,
so that's kind of weird to say the least. So, but this isn't the first time that Peterson has sat out. He sat out against BYU the second half, and he's sat out other games this year from cramps and stuff like that. So should NBA teams be worried about selecting Peterson number one right now? This is his issue. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave it. I think the NBA teams will do some chatting with Bill Self. They'll figure some things out. But I mean, it was a weird situation. I don't know exactly what happened, but he's a heck of a talent, and he'll play when the games matter most. I can promise you. But the flu thing got me all. My wife, who is a nurse,
yes,
you would think the flu was just knocking on our door. We have to come in. It's like the whole family has visited Chernobyl. When we leave the house, you come in, shoes off, wash your hands.
Gotta put a mask on.
I mean, it's like the flu. It's just constant. And of course, we haven't gotten it this year. Got to get the flu shot.
Season.
Whatever. I don't think I've ever gotten the flu before. So famous last words, I guess.
Yeah, I'm about to say, don't say that.
She doesn't mess around with the flu too much. So whenever I heard that, I can tell you this. She would not have had either of our sons on the Kansas bench last night if there's a guy that potentially had the flu.
That's what I'm just saying, man. Everybody knows the flu is contagious, so if this guy had flu-like symptoms, wouldn't the coach want his team not to get sick? So let's remove him from the team. So I don't know, man. Darren Peterson, he's a talent. He's special. This kid kind of plays like Kobe. It's hard to even say that about somebody. Like he plays like Kobe Bryant, but I mean his shot making at this age is unreal. But I think it's gonna be interesting to see how March Madness plays. I'll say that. So that's it for Taking the Lead.
All right, that's it on this Tuesday. Tomorrow's show, excited. I'm going to give you my bold predictions for LSU baseball. I haven't put a ton of thought into that yet, so I'm going to write it for LouisianaSports.net, talk about it on the show tomorrow, but I'll get into it, and we'll certainly keep those pinned for a while, and we'll go back and revisit them mid-season at the end of the year and see how they go, but we'll do that. Cookie Riley going to stop by for his now weekly segment. He covers the baseball team for The Advocate. We'll do What If Wednesday tomorrow as well, so lots to do as we're inching closer and closer to game day for LSU baseball. Of course, we'll have a reaction to LSU and Arkansas tonight. I'll write that up post-game at LouisianaSports.net. Tigers and Hogs. This morning, I haven't checked since this morning when I wrote, but this morning LSU was a 5.5-point dog in the game. 2 of Arkansas' starting guards will not play. De'Don Thomas will not play either. So compromised teams in the PMAC tonight, but we'll have a coverage of it on LouisianaSports.net. We'll talk about it tomorrow, as well as some Saints and LSU that will wrestle up one way or another. Hope to see you tonight at Court to Table on Burbank. Very excited to do sports trivia out there. 8 o'clock, so come see us. We'll be watching LSU hoops tonight at Court to Table. That's it for me. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. Everybody have a safe and wonderful Tuesday evening. We're back tomorrow for a Wednesday edition. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. BoudreauxElectrical.com is the website. Looking for a home standby Generac generator? The folks at Boudreaux's Electrical are the first place you need to go. Why? Well, they've been at this 40 years. Neil and Melissa have been running this show for 40 years. They're locally owned, family operated, and they're happy to help you. If you've gotten a Generac home standby generator from Boudreaux's Electrical, you know what kind of customer service comes with that. They monitor your Boudreaux's Electrical Generac generator 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They know when there is a malfunction and a problem, so they can come out and fix it. And you know that if you have one. If you've bought a Generac generator from someone else and you're not thrilled with the customer service you're receiving, well, get the Boudreaux Boost. You can go ahead and become part of that team and have Boudreaux service the generator even though you didn't purchase it from them. If you don't have a generator, what are you waiting for? You know the power goes out around here. Give yourself the peace of mind to know it's not going to happen to you. Check them out online at BoudreauxElectrical.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated